Welcome to Our Community. Susie Thomas with you this morning. We're visiting with Connie Brannon. She is from Malone University and in charge of all the summer camps. Now, when you think summer camp, you're thinking canoeing and you're thinking all kinds of fishing, hiking, fun. Connie has a completely other description of camp. Good morning, Connie.
Good morning, Susie. Thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. And you somehow talk kids into doing those kinds of fun things, but you throw in all kinds of academics at the same time. So talk a little bit about the behind the scenes. What started all of this?
We do. So academic summer camps at Malone look a little bit different than your traditional summer camp. For 1 week every June, we bring in about 120 high school students to spend a week exploring a field of interest that they think they might like to major in when they go to college. So the idea here is that you come and spend a few days interacting with our faculty members, doing hands-on activities related to a major that you're excited about, and get a chance to meet some new friends and sleep in the college residence halls and have our dining hall food and really do the full college experience for 1 week.
What age did you say again you're looking for?
Rising sophomores through seniors.
Okay. So anybody who's just completed their freshman year of high school.
Yes.
And you have people already thinking about what they want to major in college at that age?
We do. There's something in the climate of today's economy and the messages that our students are being sent that are saying you need to have a sense of what you want to do when you go to college. And we recognize that there's a lot of trepidation around that students don't know. And frankly, it's kind of a high expectation for a 15 or 16-year-old or a 30-year-old or a 50-year-old to know what you want to be when you grow up.
Right, yes.
We're hoping that a week on campus will take some of that trepidation out of it, make it a little bit less intimidating. Malone may not be the campus for everybody, but what it could do is give you a sense for this is what college is like. And now I'm excited about it. So let me make my list of schools and I know what questions to ask and let's do this. I'm not afraid. It's exciting.
It's also, like you say, a really good opportunity for somebody to try something out without signing on the dotted line. It's sort of like, okay, I'll go to camp and I think I want to do this, but let's see what it would entail or what it might be about, and I'll find out if I like it or if I want to try something else.
It's a safe way to explore a field that's not super expensive. It is fun. We're hoping that you're going to enjoy the activities, whether you decide it's for you or not. I think our media and television right now gives you a perception of what a field might look like. That being a scientist is not what CSI may lead you to believe it is. So I think we're hoping that our faculty members can debunk some of those myths in the classroom.
Television and movies also give you an idea of what college is like that might be a little bit off the mark as well. So
it is.
So it gives an opportunity. Tell us about that week. Let's talk about the staying on campus part. Where do they sleep? What do they eat?
Sure. So everyone checks in Sunday afternoon. And after we formally welcome the group, the first thing you do is go and have dinner. We're going to divide them up by camp so you get a chance to know your camp counselors. Our camp counselors are current Malone students, so they're the absolute best ones to share their experience. They want to share what Malone has meant to them, why they enjoy being part of this community so much, just in an attempt to help these students feel warm and welcomed. So they're going to go to dinner. They're going to spend the evening going through orientation, much like a brand new student would, getting to know each other, doing some get-to-know-you games, doing an informal campus tour. Nothing about this is a formal admissions program. That is not the goal of these camps. But we do want the students to feel oriented enough that when they get up on Monday morning, they feel like they know where they're going and what they need to do. Monday morning is the start of their class sessions. I put air quotes around camps because it's not summer school. Mm-hmm. Our faculty members are not going to be teaching at these students for 4 days. They're going to give them enough background so that they know how to do the activities. All of these camps have field trip components. So over the course of the week, everyone will leave campus at some point to go meet some professionals out in the field. Our zoo folks will go hiking and kayaking. Our science folks are going to go to the BCI lab up south of Cleveland. Psychology and creative writing at some point will take trips to the Cleveland Museum of Art and do completely unrelated activities. So I love that our faculty members have figured out ways to use these resources that are available in Northeast Ohio, apply them to their content, and allow them to be totally different. I think it's brilliant.
It's really an awesome idea. Okay, so there is a little bit of classroom instruction, but what I'm hearing is it's mostly hands-on and a great deal of experience where you're getting to go somewhere, a lot of field trips.
Yes.
What all, you were rattling off a lot of different subject areas. What all camps are offered?
This year we're running Applied and Scientific Psychology Camp. Psychology's really picked up popularity with our students.
Stop right there. How do you do psychology camp? Yikes. Okay, that just sounds threatening.
Right?
Okay, what happens at psychology
it's
camp?
It's not at all. In fact, there's a lot of simulations and video games that Dr. Eb de Oliveira, he's the one teaching off of our psychology faculty. He uses a lot of computer games and simulations to do like, what is he called? A virtual lab rat? So students can manipulate this rat according to the expectations of the game and what he talks about in their session. I think they do one on violence and social bias and use a computer game for that too. This is where I step out of my bounds as a non-psychologist, but he uses technology to try to teach some of these skill sets.
Okay, and are they skill sets? Are they concepts? Are they?
Does it
focus on mental health and wellness?
I think there's some of that. Mm-hmm. And Dr. Ebb stresses during the course of his week that he wants to talk about psychology in the sense of vocation.
Okay, so
that they're not looking toward careers specifically.
What's the difference?
That students are not. They come into psychology thinking that they're going to be a practitioner with patients on the couch, the whole image that you get again from television.
Exactly.
But he talks about how it overlaps with social work. He talks about how it overlaps with how you can end up in graduate programs. He brings alums back for one of his sessions, I believe, near the end of the week, to talk about the fields that they have landed in as professionals because they're atypical fields.
So very interesting because
psychology is more broad.
Psychology works with education.
Yes.
It works with marketing.
It does.
It works in just about all areas when you think about it. You need anything where you would need to think, how does this person think?
Yes.
So there's a lot of psychology involved. That's what psychology camp's about.
Yes.
Okay.
And he uses the Cleveland Art Museum to do that. And there's one other field trip that he takes here over the Child Behavioral Center over here by Belden Village.
Yes.
So they go off campus twice.
Yes. And I'm sure Canton offers so much. I'll bet if you tried, Canton Art Museum would help you out as well. Going to just say. All right.
Out of the mouth of Susie Thomas right there.
So, okay, psychology camp. What else do we have?
Yes, computer science camp.
Mm-hmm. Computer science camp is a riot. Talk about what happens there.
Yes, so not only, they have a couple of field trips as well. These students, they learn coding. They do web and mobile for Mac and PC. So it's a little bit of like boot camping in several different skill sets.
They're going to have marketable skills when they're done.
Yes, for students who just like to putter on technology.
Yes.
They also spend time creating a video game.
Say that again. That's amazing.
They spend time during the week actually creating a video game.
And we've seen
they get
these
to
work.
play it.
Yes.
By the time the week is over.
That's unbelievable.
And I watched all of these tiny little letters in code that mean absolutely nothing to me go into the screen. And I'm like, wow, look at this finished product.
And then you're watching a person go through a hallway and in 3D almost.
It's wild.
It is.
They play with our 3D printer. Came out with a couple of tangible projects from the 3D printer in our art facilities.
Some people may be hearing this term and think, well, I've heard of that. What in the world is that? Describe a 3D printer, because this is another thing that's just amazing. And the fact that Malone has one on campus. How they draw something on a computer and somehow the printer prints it out.
I think so, or they can use photography or other images to generate.
And then it builds one.
It does. So they actually built scripted Malone University Computer Science Camp with the year on it last year and gave each of the students a little like business card size token that they could take with them.
Oh, how cute.
I think maybe using fonts in a simple either Photoshop program or Word, or I could be speaking out of turn here, but the technology that this machine spits out with this fibrous material,
yes,
that becomes hard and like acrylic, based on the images that they
model of what they just drew.
It's amazing.
It is.
One, when you think about how it's used in the medical community and other things, Like 3D printing is
It's where it's at.
widely used everywhere. So for a high school student to be able to start to grapple with that before they go to college, I think is amazing.
Well, and yes, the fact that that would be one of the things they get to do at Computer Science Camp. All right, that's 2 camps. What else have you got?
Creative writing.
Oh, my. Okay.
This
What
one's
happens
taught
there?
by Dr. Jacqueline Dwyer, and she wants to get our writers into as many settings, writing settings as she can, so that there's room for students to be prompted and just to be creative with.
So what does that mean? What does that look? They go to different woodsy areas?
They're going to be
or-
spending a little bit of time outside, and there's enough close to campus. Enough spaces right on campus. We've got the brand new Stark Parks Trail that spits out around behind where our cross-country runners run, that they could
Nice.
spend some time without even leaving campus being outside. She does take the students to the Cleveland Art Museum. I think they do a little bit of coffee shop culture.
Oh, cool. Yes.
I'm trying to...
Do they get an opportunity to read their writings to an audience, or
They do,
what
to their
happens to
friends
the
and
things
families.
they write?
at the conclusion of the week.
Okay.
So they get a chance to... They're workshopped in poetry and fiction, I believe.
Do they get an opportunity to learn what to do next, or is there anything about steps to getting published, do you know? Or does she tell them what to do with their writing after they've written it?
That I don't know.
Well, we'll find
But
out.
I would assume that that any student who wants to know those things, she's warm, she's friendly, and would be happy to talk with them about those things.
And again, the person that's teaching this?
Is Dr. Jacqueline Dwyer. She's just finished her first year at Malone as our new director of creative writing.
Very cool.
So she's terrific.
All right, so that's 3. What other?
Next is nursing camp.
Oh,
Nursing camp is super popular. We have the high-tech labs on campus that include the sim mannequins, the ones that you can manipulate and interact with. And our nursing faculty set up scenes in these patients' rooms that don't look right and send our students in to identify what doesn't look right. They do simulations with the little goggles that have the eyeballs on it, so you can see how folks who perhaps who are driving impaired can see.
Wow.
All kinds of stuff going on in the labs.
And
We're
that
also-
really sounds like a hands-on one that they're
All of
able
it's
to.
hands-on.
Yes. And when you're talking about mannequins, you're not just talking about like a store mannequin. These are specifically geared to teach medical
Yes.
students about. They respond in different ways, don't they?
They
These
do.
are different,
As
and
a
they
non-medical
look different.
practitioner, they're kind of freaky.
A little bit.
Like, what is
They
this
don't
thing
look well.
doing? They don't, which is the goal.
Yes.
But these students just gobble up every minute in our lab.
Yes.
We're going to do a field trip to Stark State and we're partnering with them to do an EMS simulation, so
Okay.
students can be in and out of a squad vehicle. They're also going to the Small Family Hospital in Alliance.
Okay.
Whose name escapes me, to do a hospital facility tour.
Wow.
So nursing also spends a lot of time off campus.
And I'm guessing, too, right now, the field of nursing is just as popular with young men as it is with young ladies.
It is.
Are you seeing that with the campers that are coming
It's been
in?
different from one year to the next. In our first year, we actually had 2. 2 of our 14 were young men. This year on the roster, I don't believe we have any. Those tend to jump out to my attention.
So come
as
on,
soon
guys.
as they
There's
come
still
in.
time to sign up for
we'd be
nursing camp.
Thrilled. This camp always overflows. Right
Yes.
now, I've got a wait list, which is so encouraging.
And then let's remind everybody, too, when you sign up for these academic camps, there is time out to do other more traditional camping activities, yes?
There is in the evening. So once you've done the 9 to 5 class experience time, after dinner, we pull all of the camps together. So all 7 of them, all 122 students, to do some Malone traditions that we just think are fun. So
We're going to find out what those are after we take a little bit of a break. Stay with us. You're listening to Our Community.